Pokémon, a franchise that took the world by storm and defined the childhoods of many. It has only gotten more popular with time, but what was Pokémon like way back then? More specifically, how has competitive Pokémon changed over the years for those striving to be the very best? Now that is exactly what we are here to find out. In this series, Jeexx and I will embark on an adventure to be the very best, exploring through time and space to rediscover Pokémon's past formats. In each episode, both of us will bring two teams and battle it out in a best of 3 match, and the one who wins with both teams first is crowned the champion of the episode. We hope you enjoy this trip to Pokemon's evolution with us. Welcome to the Pokemon Progression Series, A Journey Through Time. Generation 1, Red, Blue and Yellow, the spark that started the bonfire that would burn for decades with the first 151 Pokemon, was an absolutely unbalanced mess. Based in the Kanto region, which itself is based in the region of the same name in Japan, it saw the most powerful Pokemon that ever exist in Mewtwo, had some very interesting mechanics, and it was widely dominated by Psychic and Normal types. Notable features and differences when compared to modern Pokemon in Generation 1 were the following, and strapping this list is a doozy. Generation 1 had no held items or abilities, those would come later, and instead of the modern EVs and IVs, a DV mechanic with 15 max in each stat and no limitation or real reason to not have these all max was in place. Special is one single stat responsible for both offense and defense on the special side for the Pokemon, and no physical special split yet, and instead move type was defined by whether a move is physical or special, and the types can be seen on the screen right now. As already mentioned, Psychic and Normal were the king when it came to types of Pokemon, mostly due to a lack of good fighting type moves, as well as Psychic only being resisted by itself, having an immunity to Ghost instead of a weakness, and the complete absence of Dark in Generation 1. Other type related things include Bug and Poison hitting each other for super effective damage, Fire not resisting Ice, Ghost not resisting Bug, as well as the absence of the aforementioned Dark, as well as Steel, and obviously Fairy that would come way later. Generation 1 also had really wonky trap and status mechanics, where trapping and sleep both require a full turn to snap out of, and you can't use move on the turn that you snap out of it, and freeze you cannot be thawed out of unless hit with a fire type move that can inflict burn, and also there were some very clear bugs as well, like Body Slam not being able to paralyze normal types. Hyper Beam also had no recharge if it KO'd a Pokemon or hit a substitute, which made it an incredibly powerful move, and crit chance was based on the Pokemon speed stat instead of being the same random chance for everybody.
Guys and gals, ladies and lads, welcome back to the Pokemon Progression Series, and we are back with Gen 1 PU. And different this time because me and Jeexx, I think we're both doing the team breakdowns after we've actually done the matches. And as you can hear from my voice, I am almost recovered at this point, but still my voice is not. So I was like yesterday, I completely couldn't speak. My throat was so chocked. I don't know what happened. But now I can speak, but I'll still try to not strain my voice too much, so I'll try to keep this brief. We have two teams once again. The first one revolves around Seeking as a late game sweeper. We have just some Mons like Ghastly and Nidoqueen here that are hard to swap into with good coverage, good ways to do stuff. I decided to forego Explosion on Ghastly this time over going for Hypnosis and Substitute to maybe do more stuff with him as a bigger threat. There are more ground types here in this here, but the ground types in ZU aren't very good, so I don't think we're likely to see them. And for the 2 of the 3 ground types in the tier itself, Psychic basically one-hit KOs them, and also does a lot to Graveler, and if we can sleep the Graveler, then Ghastly might just win on its own behind the substitute. But Nidoqueen also here just for good coverage moves. We have Machamp here. There is a normal type and also Graveler. This is mostly here to handle Graveler. As you can see, like that's also one reason why we have Hypnosis here, like being as well as Sleep Powder on Vileplume. I was contemplating on going instead for Body Slam and Mega Drain instead of Swords Dance and Hyper Beam, but I figured like since we do have the main carry being Seeking and that being able to remove Graveler pretty easily, like if we can just get rid of Graveler like and then set something else to sleep, like Vileplume might actually have a pretty good opportunity to set itself up. So that's why I decided to forego a Grass type move here. Rapidash is here, Fire Spin, it's like the fastest thing in the tier, bar none, right? Yeah, by far the fastest thing in the tier, so we can chip anything with Fire Spin. Then we just have Body Slam, Fire Blast, Hyper Beam to hit anything else for a guaranteed chip. Like I said, Graveler mostly here to just have something for Graveler, and also there's like decent coverage with stuff like Submission, Earthquake, Body Slam. And then, like I said, like Seeking is the endgame carry. Surf Blizzard, Hyper Beam, Fishing for crits with agility after a after a single agility. It's the fastest thing in the tier, and even outspeeds some stuff when paralyzed. So that's really neat. But that's like the idea behind the first team, like having a Water, Fire, Grass core, and then just good coverage to hit different threats in the tier. Then for the second one, we have once again a double sweeper situation here, as well as a lot of status stuff. We have T-Wave on both Abra and Porygon, and then we also have Sleep Powder on Venusaur. And the idea behind the Porygon lead is obviously it being a normal type, nothing but fighting types. It's for super effective, being able to spread status, recover, and hit basically anything with Ice Electric coverage. It's really good. Like, I feel like it's going to be a very strong lead. Then we have Venusaur. This time we don't have that great of a way, once again, apart from Golduck to Devo Graveler, and Golduck is like one of the two like main carries in this team. So, and he doesn't have agility, so he's more bound to get chipped out. So I wanted to have a secondary way of dealing with something like Graveler, which is why we are carrying Razor Leaf. But then we have Sleep Powder, Body Slam, Swords Dance, ways to deal with stuff. Body Slam is there to spread more para if there's a need for it. Graveler, Earthquake, Rock Slide, Explosion, and then Counter here. Counter is here because obviously, like I said, like Machamp is in the tier, and I feel like the most common thing to bring Machamp into for would be Graveler. Now, are you actually using Submission, or are you just going for Earthquake to not get hit by Counter? Me personally, I go EQ every time, but if we manage to pull it off, it's neat. And then Abra, apart from Rapidash, the fastest thing in the entire tier, Psychic and Seismic Toss to hit just literally anything for good amount of damage. Thunderwave there to spread. Sorry, I didn't have time to move further. To spread status. And Substitutes is here to set up on a potential switch. Like Seismic Toss is something that we might go for just to call out anything getting switch in and to get the guaranteed chip. But another way to do that is Substitute, and Substitute is also here as a way to protect from booming. Abra, I feel like is another Mon in this tier that's super hard to switch into. So something like Graveler and Ghastly like are pretty bound to boom on it. So Substitute is pretty good to, if we call out that, like Jeexx loses Mon, we lose 25%. Obviously a really good deal for us. And then finally our late game sweepers, we have Pinsir, Source Dance, Seismic Toss, Submission, and Slash. Slash, obviously the crits don't function with Source Dance, which is a little annoying. I was contemplating instead throwing a Hyper Beam in here, but then we're missing out on a lot of damage in a lot of situations when we're not killing with Hyper Beam, because we don't want to be just sitting there charging. I wanted to use Pinsir. I think Pinsir is one of my favorite bug types. I actually really like it, but unfortunately its move pool is very lackluster. But we'll try to make it work regardless. And then we have Golduck. After Amnesia, it is so insanely bulky, And then like Seismic Dot Blizzard Surf gives really good coverage. It doesn't unfortunately learn Thunderbolt yet. I would love the Seismic Toss to be Thunderbolt, to be able to literally cover everything. But I feel like if Gen 1 Golduck had access to Thunderbolt, it would not be in the PU. So yeah, these are like the late game threats. Like obviously pretty middling speed stats, like 85 for this tier is towards the upper half, but still like you have stuff like Abra and stuff like Rapidash, obviously being able to revenge kill these things pretty well, or even get a Thunder Wave off. So that's why we have like multiple Thunder Wave users to maybe spread paralysis first and then be able to set up there, and obviously getting a free turn of a full para to set up Amnesia or Swords Dance like is going to be basically game winning. But yeah, those are the two teams that we have brought this week. I hopefully enjoyed the team breakdowns from me as well as Jeexx, and I will see you in the battle zone afterwards.
Okay, so we're doing Gen 1 PU. PU apparently standing for fucking stinky or some shit. I don't know. But I am running in my first team a Rapidash with Fire Spin, Fire Blast, Body Slam, Rest. Originally I had Agility and Fire Spin on this, but then I found out that that's an illegal combination, and I had to change. I don't remember which of these moves was Agility. I think it was Rest. I think my main idea was to run Agility, Fire Spin, Agility, Fire Spin, like especially locking my opponent out of being able to do anything, and using Fire Blast and Body Slam to check things. Then I maybe felt like I could actually check, and then I had to swap obviously to Rest, and I put Rest on here because Fire Spin like could maybe. There could be situations where I want to Fire Spin and then I just click Rest and then I just click something twice and then. Then we Graveler with Explosion, Earthquake, Rock Slide, Fire Blast. Again, there are grass types in this format, so I'm checking them with Fire Blast. Rock Slide and EQ are also pretty good, because I think both of the... No, never mind. I was going to say, I think both of the grass types that are in this are weak to ground as well, but I'm pretty sure they are neutral, so it shouldn't be relevant really for them. But yeah, Explosion obviously here, because it kind of just destroys everything and anything in this. And yeah. Then we have Machamp with EQ, Body Slam, Low Kick, Fire Blast. Again, I think EQ is pretty good. There's not many flying type monsters in this, so the obvious weakness of EQ being ground type isn't that pronounced in this, so you can easily just click EQ and always chunk someone, especially considering that this thing has like 358 attack, like 130 attack. Yeah, this thing is gonna do a chunk of change to anyone. Then Body Slam, same reasoning, but now it has also the ability to paralyze, because there's not that many normal types in this either. Low Kick, if there happens to be a normal type that I'm kind of forgetting about right now, which I think is Wigglytuff, actually. Wigglytuff is in this. And obviously Low Kick would work on bigger targets, but yeah. Fire Blast, once again, grass types, and Venusaur and Vileplume. Abra is in here for Thunder Wave, Psychic, Reflect, Seismic Toss. So T-Wave is obvious, right? T-Wave makes sense. It's a Gigafast Pokemon. It allows me to easily set up T-Wave anything. Reflect is largely just me being like, I don't really know what else you would ever run on this. Maybe Substitute, but at the same time, like, that Substitute is always gonna break after one hit. So I just figured I'm just gonna put Reflect here, just in case Weebfox has to swap into something that can take the Abra actually out, and I read that, and I don't want to just click T-Wave, which like, could happen maybe, and then I just click Reflect instead to make sure that it doesn't get hopefully immediately completely dumpstered by a physical move, which you probably still will. It's Seismic Toss to check other Abras pretty much, Psychic to pretty much check everything again. Then Venusaur, Substitute, Rest, Sleep Powder, Razor Leaf. I think that's a pretty self-evident set. You could probably make the argument of running like Sword Stance Hyper Beam or Sword Stance Body Slam. That was something that I was originally trying to run in one of my sets. Not on this team, but another team. But I'm pretty sure it didn't work out, mostly because the fact that my buffs didn't affect my crits with Razor Leaf, for example, so growth wasn't really relevant. And I also really hard misplayed with that Venusaur. But yeah, Substitute and Rest. a solid combo. Sleep Powder after both of those, pretty good. Razor Leaf for critting, for dealing with the ground types that might exist, which are quite numerous. And well, not quite numerous in the sense that they're not super effective, but still. Yeah. And then we have Golduck with Blizzard, Surf, Amnesia, Seismic Toss. Obviously, Seismic Toss is here to check anything that I think I'm not going to be able to chunk using regular attacks with Stab and stuff. Amnesia is in here so that I can click it and hopefully set up for Surf and Blizzard, dealing massive amounts of damage. I don't know how well that's going to work out, but there's not really any good electro types. And overall, like, this thing is a speed monster. Like, there's like 2 Pokemon that outspeeded, I think, in this entire format. Oh, 3. Abra, I think, the Rapidash and Pinsir. Oh no, it's even. It's also speed tied with no, it's speed tied with Nidoking and Nidoking and Pinsir. Yeah. But yeah, I think this is a overall really good Pokemon for this format. Kind of menacing. Not gonna lie. Then for Team 2, we have Execute with Psychic Explosion, Stun Spore, Sleep Powder. And again, I think that's a pretty self-evident set. You can use double powders double powders to set up pretty well against your opponent. You can force them to swap into stuff, or you can just throw out your Stun Spore or Sleep Powder to hopefully get some solid damage out using Psychic. And then depending on what they change into, you can obviously just go Bakum, or you can use another powder. You're very squishy overall, and your special stat isn't that great, but I think you can still take quite a amount of beating. A lot more than Abra can, most fucking definitely. Kingler, physical sweeper here with Body Slam, Crab Hammer, Hyper Beam, Sword Stance with 130 attack, 115 defense, 75 speed. Not that slow, not that fast, not that strong especially, so can really take damage from electric types. But again, electric types don't exist in this. And grass types are also, there's at least two that are pretty good. But even then, I think this is going to be a pretty strong mon on this team. Then we have Nidoking with Blizzard, Fire Blast, Earthquake, Surf. And I think if there's one thing that I would change here, it would probably be getting rid of Surf in favor of taking Thunderbolt. Because coverage, obviously. Like, that's something that I didn't really consider. But yeah. Surf, Thunderbolt instead of Surf, maybe. Nightingale, Wildplume, with Stun, Double Powders, and Mega Drain Body Slam. It's kind of the same idea, except for the part where I can blow this up after dealing a solid amount of damage using the powders and Psychic, and then blowing itself up. I can then have another one that can do the exact same thing in the form of Wildplume. And yeah, I think this is not the best idea, having 2 of these, but it can probably take me the game. We'll see. And then we have Wigglytuff, which is the normal type I was forgetting about. Seismic Toss, Body Slam, Thunder Wave, Ice Beam. I think I'm not really sure which you would actually want to run with this. Maybe a Thunderbolt again, like Thunderbolt instead of Seismic Toss. But I was just thinking, like, I'm just gonna pick Seismic Toss in case Weebfox tries to swap out into Ghastly, because Ghastly exists. Like, if I'm clicking Body Slams for Stab and Parachance, if he just has Ghastly on his team, Seismic Toss can actually maybe deal some damage to Ghastly and even let me kill him next turn with Ice Beam. But yeah. This thing is bulky, 483 HP and 70 attack. It's not that strong offensively, but it can take some hits. Then we have Ghastly with Explosion, Hypnosis, Psychic, Thunderbolt. I feel like I've gone through multiple Gengars at this point, right? I've gone through the Gengar that had Confuse Ray, Hypnosis, Toxic Substitute, no attacking move, right? Then I went through Haunter, which had Confuse Ray, Thunderbolt, Hypnosis, Mega Drain. The Mega Drain in here was specifically a meta read on the fact that there was a lot of ground types that were really good, and this was on par, if not faster, than a lot of them. The only one that is faster, I think, being Dugtrio. But I've now finally got to the point where I'm just gonna pick the 4 moves that I think are legitimately the best for this. But yeah, I think this Pokemon is gonna do some solid work with Explosion specifically. I think Explosion, I calced it, and Explosion just kills Abra, for example, and I think that's a pretty good one, because at the end of the day, this is a Ghost type with a poison secondary typing, right? Which means that it's weak to Abra, and Abra can just one-shot it, so I can just swap this. If Weebfox swaps Abra into this, I can just blow up and kill Abra. or if we happen to end up in a situation where we're both double KO'd, do that. But I think this is overall gonna be a pretty fun format. I think the further down the list we've gone, the more interesting it's gone, because it's like I actually have to look at the Pokemon and be like, who the fuck do I want to play? Who am I picking? And it's like, Golduck. I'm picking Golduck. I have never in my life used a Golduck. Not once. And not really Machamp either. But yeah. Hopefully these games go alright. Good luck with the games.
And ladies and lads, welcome back to the Pokemon Progression series. And this time we're doing PU. If you know what that stands for, please let us know. We have concluded that it's something, it's poo-poo something.
It's poo stinky. Well,
yes.
Someone in chat said that it's more specifically just like a PU, as in like stinky.
Yeah, so that's what we're gonna go off of. But yeah, we're recording this at a different time than we usually do, because I was very smart and didn't realize that, hey, we can record a couple at a time. But this way there will be no, at least for now, there shouldn't be a week without an upload. So awesome.
Perfect.
And
just for the better.
Yeah, just to get the Johns out of the way, I slept for 3.5 hours last night. So if I make misplays, like, put it on my lack of sleep and not my skill as a gamer. Okay, thanks. My ego appreciates.
This is what I think of.
Yeah.
I'll send you an image real quick. You can just open this on your browser monitor real quick.
Can you lock the fuck in? It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I honestly, I feel pretty alright. Probably just the fatigue is most likely gonna just hit me later, and for now I'm probably gonna be fine. But it's still unfortunate, and I don't know why I slept so poorly. I usually, like, I'm very blessed in having good, like, basically always, like, getting really good sleep and falling asleep very easily. But sometimes, I have to pay my dues at some point.
Yeah.
And I guess last night was just one of those. But yeah.
Who knows? Maybe this lack of sleep will unlock like something deep in your brain.
Yeah, maybe
that will enable you to go Giga mode.
Maybe it'll open my third eye, or maybe it'll close my remaining 2. Who knows? I don't know why is it remaining, as if, like, sometimes have 3, but no, it's maybe I open a third eye, or maybe I lose the 2 that I just have. So
opening the 8th gate, or whatever the fuck I did.
Yeah, and the things that Kaisen from Jujutsu Kaisen did.
Yeah. I like that part where Kaisen from Jujutsu Kaisen fought those guys, and then he went like, Kaisen punch! And then everyone was like, how is he doing the Kaisen punch so well?
It was immaculate. If you don't get this reference, don't worry about it.
We got information. Breaking news. PU stands for perfectly useless, piddlingly used, particularly underwhelming, and painfully uninspiring, and also Penguin Umbrella.
Honestly, I like the last one the best, so we'll go with that.
Okay. So Penguin Umbrella format it is.
So if you don't have at least one Penguin and one Umbrella in your team, you are automatically disqualified.
What the fuck? That's not fair.
I don't make the rules. But yeah. Anything to say about the stuff before we get started, or should we say the app?
Cloudy in chat says, I like when he JJ'd all over the K.
I love that. That's great. Thank you. Thank you for these inspirational words, Cloudy. We appreciate that. But yeah, are we ready to get going?
I think I'm good to go. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. I will once again deafen, and I will send you the challenges and boot up the timer, and I will see you after the matches.
Oh yeah.
All right, and we are deafened, and then let us navigate to find Jeexx over here. Oh, I wonder, when did I get logged out? Okay, not that one. I have a few here, so okay, it's that one. Perfect. Last seen. Let me send... All right, he says he's logged in now. Let me redo. All right, there we go. Perfect. Oh yeah, I need to once again change my avatar to a fitting one. Okay, so apparently it just logged us both out. Just give me any Gen 1, like, gym leader. We can go... Where's Brock? Bro, am I blind? There we go. We can go Brock. Let's go challenge. And let's go Generation 1 PU. And we will start with this one. Hopefully there's no... Okay, volume should be muted, so we should be good to go. Oh, apparently Jeexx has a non-valid team. So we'll wait for him to fix that. Oh, there we go. All right. So a Rapidash lead for the first one. I don't like this for us, but at the same time, this thing can hurt us quite a bit. I don't know how much damage I'm willing to take on my Nidoqueen. He's definitely not going for a body slam here. I feel like the safe play is to just go for a fire move. So honestly, I think we just take the Rapidash Mirror here. If he calls it out and goes body slam here, then I mean that's, you know, good on his part. Oh, well, that is unfortunate. That is really bad for us, actually. That was a really good play by him. He covered, like, many bases. I mean, if he's booming, like, my team actually is pretty bad against Graveler, so I don't think he would boom. The issue here is... if he booms on Seeking, like, we just get cooked, is the issue. But, I mean, I think he learned from last time that he's not going to stay on a water move. He's probably... I mean, he's just clicking either Earthquake or Rock Slide here. Do I want this thing asleep? Actually, I think I would like this thing asleep against my team. Yeah, let's do this. Okay. We get hit by that, but next, if he booms on my Vileplume, that deals me two things, which is he really can deal with Vileplume, and that and or he was predicting something. If we hit the Sleep Powder, then that's absolutely perfect. Okay, nice. He's playing really well. But Generation 1, we still get this thing asleep. It is unfortunately not what we want to be sleeping, but now the question is, what would he swap to? Because he's definitely switching to something, but the question is what? He's not doubling back into Graveler, because, okay, what would he predict me to swap into? All three of his Mons, like, we have a pretty good matchup here, but I honestly think we got Nidoqueen here. Or he just takes the sleep turn, okay. I would predict some stuff, but we have a pretty good matchup, like I said, against everything he has, especially after we hit a Blizzard. Blizzard isn't even resisted by fire in Generation 1, so I think we just click Blizzard here, and I want to go for Intel to know what else he has. Okay, is he electing to sack this thing? Only with a crit it kills now. So now he's switching into something that resists Blizzard. And what would that be is the question. I think we're gonna call out the switch. He's not going into a flying type, so we'll call out the switch with an Earthquake. Okay? We get more damage on this one. Now the question is he setting up Amnesia here, or is he just going for Surf? We're slower than this thing, but I think the threat of Amnesia is so scary. But at the same time, like, I don't really have a switch in for this, which is an issue. We're very specially bulky though, so we'll go for a Thunderbolt. Amnesia is really scary here though. If he sets up Amnesia, like, this is gonna be a really tough game. Because we don't... Okay, there's the Amnesia. Let's see if we can get a para. Para would be huge. We don't get a para. Honestly, we might just immediately lose to this thing. Because the issue is that it outspeeds everything except for Rapidash. And if I'm him, I honestly set up a second Amnesia. And this Thunderbolt is not going to do any damage, but we need to fish for a para at this point. I don't have a switch into this thing, especially now with Amnesia up. So I unfortunately need to sack Nido Queen? Okay, he just goes for that. I think that's fine for us. I do need to make a Calc here though, which is going to be Rapidash Hyper Beam against Golduck. A Hyper Beam is 35%, so it's not gonna be nearly enough. After a Body Slam, it might, but the issue here is that we get blown up into Kingdom Come. And I think we just die. This thing gets Psychic, right? I'm pretty sure it doesn't, but it gets an Ice move. Now, does it kill a Vileplume? Is the question. I'm pretty sure it does. Sorry that I'm doing so many calcs here. Blizzard, yeah, Blizzard kills. So if he misses, then sure. But I think, I mean, we might just solo lose to this. I don't want to spend too many turns. We can't kill it with this. So we go Body Slam. We pray for the paralysis, in which case we don't immediately lose. Okay. It kills, so now we're at a point where I don't think my Hyper Beam kills this thing. If he switches, then that's pretty big. If he hits the Blizzard, here, we're just immediately lose, unfortunately. But this is more likely to hit. We will go for this. If he hits the Blizzard, it's GG's. Yeah, okay, that's gonna be GG's. Because he can basically kill everything at this... Actually... Now we're not thinking about it. Could he have killed our what's his face? Could he have killed Machamp? Oh, Machamp actually doesn't die. Okay, well in that case, I definitely threw. I should have gone into Machamp. We can still play the end game, but yeah, that's definitely my bad. I didn't realize that Machamp just deals with this thing. Yeah, that was silly by me. Okay, so we wouldn't have killed... Yeah, okay, Rapidash was a necessary sack. We didn't need to sack the Earthquake. We'll just go for Earthquake. Yeah, if he crit there, it was immediately dead. That crit didn't matter. But now this is going to be a really tough end game. We do still have our Sweeper in the bag, and Venusaur is asleep. Okay, this thing. Well, we do have a way still into this game, which is unfortunately fish for crits, but I do not have a switch in. I literally need to hope that he doesn't drop my special. I will go into this and agility. If he thunder waves us, then it's gonna be GG's. But I unfortunately don't really have anything I can do here other than take the Psychic. But yeah, this is most likely gonna be GG's. But Graveler is here. We have Abra. There's a lot of power. I don't know what the last Pokemon is. But this thing dies. We need to go into Seeking. And if he Thunder Waves me here, like, he definitely has Thunder Wave. If he Thunder Waves me here, he immediately wins. Like, I think that's the safe play for him. And if I'm him, I'm always just Thunder Waving here. Because that way, like, he can just wear me down and even fish for a pair. But I think Our win con at this point is literally pray for crits after an agility, so. But if I'm him, I'm just Thunder Waving. If he goes for a Thunderbolt and it 10% paras me, then I'm gonna be, yeah, okay. And that's gonna be GG's. There is now, unfortunately, nothing that we can do. And I don't think, yeah, it's gonna be GG's. There's really no point. I'll just click surf. It's GG's. It's gonna be GG's anyway, but 36. We don't kill with another one. He also doesn't kill, so sure, let's go for a second agility. Might as well pray for the crits. Does he get the drop? He doesn't. We get lucky with that. Let's see if we can get a crit at least. We're triple speed. Chances of our paralysis also are pretty high. But at this point, like if I'm him, I'm definitely just staying in. And there's the para. Yeah, that's gonna be all she wrote. And I think it's better for us to do this. I don't wanna reveal our last Pokemon because I don't wanna give him unnecessary intel, because now he might think that I'll have Ghastly in my second game. Ghastly would have swapped in, and I would have clicked, had to click Thunderbolt probably, which would not have killed, and then he would have hit me with Psychic. Oh, he hits me with Psychic first, which almost kills me. I hit him back with Thunderbolt. If he gets parried, we get one Mon. If we don't hit the para, then we lose anyway. So I think there it's better for me to not give him the intel. But he played that game really well. Like the early game swaps were definitely really good. He covered a lot of different angles really well. Okay, and this thing can sleep us, but we do have Ice Beam. And honestly, I think we just play the long game. So I think we just send a Thunder Wave. He's probably switching into something anyway in fear of, in fear of Ice Beam. So we'll do this. We probably trade status. Okay, we tried to trade status, but 75% Sleep Powder, or Sun Spore rather, unfortunately misses. Okay, it's a clean 2 hit. That's fine. We are speed tying. He's most likely going to swap. I could go for another Thunder Wave, but I would rather just spread damage. We have 2 different sweepers here, and Porygon just has a really good matchup against a lot of stuff in the tier. But most likely he's switching. There isn't really an ice resist though, so I don't feel too bad about clicking Ice Beam. And you know, we have to at least once during Generation 1 get the freeze off. Wigglytuff, okay. And we're gonna continue spreading status, so I'm gonna Thunder Wave this thing. I honestly don't know. Okay, it doubles into a Nidoqueen. That's a good play. What is he doing with this though, is the question. I'm not sure if Nidoqueen got setup moves. I'll be honest. But like, I mean, obviously my Nidoqueen was Earthquake, Thunderbolt, Blizzard, and was I Body Slam on the last one? I doubt it gets fighting moves. And I mean, Submission, not the greatest. That was a really good double, like predicting the... It was also risky because obviously we have Ice Beam, but I do wonder, like, what is he doing with this Nidoqueen now? But I think, like, since Porygon can hit pretty much everything, I don't think I want to be switching unless I get, like, a really good angle for it. And we're just trying to spread chip damage as well as status here. I don't think Heal Bell is in the first generation. And that's an unfortunate paralysis. I don't think Recover does anything because we are just risking more paralysis. Okay, at least we get some damage, but the paralysis was really unfortunate here. I think just in case he tries to get cheeky and switch here to get tempo, we will go for a Recover. Yeah, that makes sense. But now we get a free switch in, and this thing does have Thunderbolt, but as we saw last time, like Thunderbolt on this thing doesn't actually do that much. So I think it's time for us to bring this thing in. And literally, if he doesn't hit the, like, he's definitely calling out the amnesia, but I don't think there's a lot of stuff in the tier that handles it really well. So I would rather just not overpredict, and I will just click amnesia. And if I'm him, once again, like we had last game, like, you just stay with Nidoqueen and you pray for the Thunderbolt para. Watch him carry a Thunder Wave. I just absolutely owe me here. Thunderbolt, Earthquake, okay. And, alright. That is very unfortunate. Yeah, we'll go for Surf. That is a humongous crit. Going into this thing, that's fine. It's resist, but still, that was a game-losing crit, I'm pretty sure. I can't risk him setting up a Swords Dance here. If I switch out and he sets up a Swords Dance, I'm cooked. So I just have to... Okay, now here's the question. He might predict me to switch into something and go for Swords Dance, because he definitely doesn't want his Golduck to die. But like, I can't risk him Swords Dancing, so let's get a crit. And we don't. And he goes for Hyper Beam. Yeah. Yeah, that might have been a game-losing crit, unfortunately. Now, the thing here is still that there's basically nothing in the tier faster than this thing. But the question is... I could go for Venusaur as well, but he has way better switch-ins to Venusaur. Especially... No, I think we just go into this and just click Psychic and not think about it. Because even, like, against this thing, it's so low that we can actually, like, set up a sub against it. And we're chilling. So we'll go Abra. We won't think about it too much. I could go for a Seismic Toss to guarantee a kill on this. Actually, is Seismic Toss better? We're revealing a move by using that. I'll go for Seismic Toss. Okay, yeah. Good. So we get rid of this thing. And I could have set up a sub there. Where actually, yeah, the more I think about it, I could have set up a sub there. Now this thing probably carries Hypnosis. But it is a 60% accurate move, and anything else he could really do here doesn't do too much to us. So we will just click Psychic, and Psychic is a comfortable 2-hit KO on this thing. That doesn't matter. He explodes. Okay, that's a fine trade as well. I was thinking of going for a sub because of the explosion. Now the thing here is we could go for this. It has a relatively good matchup against everything he has revealed thus far, but we don't know what his last thing is. Would he go into the blind pick here? Honestly, if I'm him, I probably do. Graveler is pretty bad, but I'd like to keep it as a sack here. And Venusaur is pretty pointless too. We definitely need to win with Pinsir. I think we go Venusaur and put something to sleep here. Yeah, let's go Venusaur. Okay. We don't need to put this thing to sleep. But now the question is, what did Wigglytuff get? Because I'll be honest, I do not know. It does get Fire Blast, which is most likely what he's going for. How much does Wigglytuff Fire Blast do though? I don't think a lot. We are faster than this thing too. We'll go for Sleep Powder, and we miss. That, bro, okay. I guess it's coming back to bite me for sure. All my past luck. So it is good that, like, the universe is paying their dues. And that's a crit too. And we... Skull. I think that's just GG's then. Okay, well, we immediately need to go into this thing. And it's a first turn sleep. Well, he's gonna go for... Okay. I know he will go for a... Actually... No way that a fire blast kills. It does over half though, but we can't kill this thing without setting up a Swords Dance first, unfortunately. I'm running submission. Yeah, doesn't kill. So he's most likely going for a fire blast here, but unless it burns, we do still have a way into this game. But this is probably... Oh, he's tossing. Does he not have fire blast? Okay, well he didn't thunder wave, and now we're a +2. So now the thing here is submission kills from this range guaranteed. Am I calling out a swap though? No, we go for submission. If we miss that submission, we're probably dead. Now, assuming that the last Pokemon isn't faster than us, we should still have a winnable endgame. It's going to be extremely hard though, because Kingler is faster than our... we need him to go Kingler here. Okay. This thing will go for a Sleep Powder. Like, we know that. This thing is going for a Sleep Powder, and it can't really hurt us otherwise. Do I keep this thing in order to win with this and just sack Venusaur here? Or I'm pretty sure we need him to miss a... I'm so sad that I'm not carrying Hyper Beam right now. I need him to miss the powder. That's literally my win condition. Because I change into this, it doesn't matter. I then need to double back. Yeah, we're not getting a Swords Dance. I literally, in order for me to win this game, I need him to miss the Stun Spore or Sleep Powder that he's going for here. It is literally the only way for me to win this game. And he lands it. GG. Nothing we can do now. We can go into this thing, but it doesn't matter here. Watch him paralyze me. It would have been funny. But yeah, nothing I could have done there. Nothing I could have done. So, I mean, the first game, he definitely just straight up outplayed me. Second game, we lost to RNG. But like I've said in the past, like I've won a lot of games through RNG. So it is only fair, I think, for him to get this one. In the first one, I definitely got outplayed. So I'm gonna shake his hand on that one. Right. GG's gamer. You finally got yours back.
I won.
The first game definitely, like, I'll just say you just straight up outplayed me. The early game I played so much worse, and then like second game it was definitely Universe paying their dues.
The fucking Golduck. Like, I think
the Golduck crit was, yeah, I was literally like saying when it happened that I'm pretty sure that settled the game.
Like the amnesia on the Thunderbolt into the crit a bit after, that just won. Hands down.
Yeah, it was an Earthquake crit, but yeah.
Wait, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you mean in this game? Yeah. I thought you meant last game.
Game. No, the first game definitely I just got outplayed, but the second game, like, definitely. Hard to say, like, without the RNG, because I don't think I played too great, but there were definitely a few, like, I think the crit on the Earthquake on Golduck was the biggest one, and then me missing 2 Sleep Powders in a row was another one, and then I had one more thing in mind. There was one more thing that was like the icing on the cake, but there were like 3 big swings here. I could have still like definitely played better. Like, for example, like I was thinking of substituting on the Boom on Ghastly to call that out, but I don't know how much that would have mattered on the long run.
I mean, you would have had a Pokemon that has a super effective move against 2 of my 3 endgame Mons. So I think that could have mattered, especially considering that like neither of them can outspeed Abra, and they're both especially weak.
Yeah, that's why Abra is so good in this one.
Yeah,
But still, like,
was
I'll
kind of
definitely.
surprised by it.
But yeah, I'll still definitely I'll give it up because like RNG happens and first game was definitely just a play more. I was like the reason why I forfeited the first one. I also said it on tape was because I didn't want to reveal Ghastly because there was nothing that I could have done with it. So I was like, I don't want to give him intel on my last one.
Yeah, that's this is the fucking guy hiding the fact that he's got a boom on in the back. I was actually wondering about that if you were running any of them. When we got to the last 3 of your Mons on this team, like if you're running Graveler or Ghastly. But yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Hiding
I had more
boomers.
sweepers this time around, but it was just like the first game, the early game positioning made me give up a lot of stuff, and then like the well, it was also like the end game. Like when I brought out Seeking, I literally went like Thunderwave here is GG, and the early game I just misplaced my Mons. That was one also miscalculation that I had on the first game where I should have calced the damage that Golduck does to Machamp because the Rapidash sack was necessary in order for me to get it in range for Machamp, but me going into Vileplume after was literally pointless. I was literally saying like I go into it like and hoping you miss the blizzard and then I land the sleep, but I could have just gone straight into Machamp. I tank whatever hit you do and then I just kill it as a crackback and I'll still have Vileplume. It would have been the definitely way safer play that I only realized afterwards once I calculated. So definitely
Like
had
losing-
some misplays a lot in the first one.
Yeah, losing Vileplume in the first game definitely sealed the deal, right? Like I still have Rapidash, but I think Rapidash would paralyze or sleep either. Or, don't remember right now. So it could have like there was a legitimate chance.
It was
to
status,
take
yeah.
that game.
Yeah, the first one, like, definitely I just lost to bad place. Second game, hard to say because there were so many, like, influential RNG.
Crits, yeah. Crits and
Think
just
so.
not land. Dude,
Yeah.
the sleep powder missing twice feels so fucking bad. Holy
It
shit.
does. I don't like using sleep powder a lot for that. Like I don't in general like usually I'm the type of person that usually is like, all right, I'm a flamethrower over fire blast. I'm ice beam over blizzard because of stuff like that. Because I don't like losing to RNG, but sometimes it just happens, and especially like Gen 1 where it's riddled with stuff like that. It's just like, all right, you just gotta embrace it.
That's kind of why I just decided at one point that I'm not gonna like. I was thinking about using Ice Beam over Blizzard in the first 2 things that we're doing, but then I just realized at some point like, nah, I'm just gonna fucking send it because otherwise I cannot win in this.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
The damage also like thresholds are really often come up in Gen 1, which like makes that in a lot of scenarios like Fire Blast and Blizzard are just straight up upgrades over their like basically 100% accurate counterparts. But like later on it's not that big of a deal. And also I'm pretty sure Blizzard also gets, yeah, it's 90% accurate now. It gets bumped down to, I want to say 85% later on. So it's also a small nudge in its power. Also, yeah, it's 120 power and it gets turned to 110. So yeah, like 110 base power, 85% accurate move versus 95 base power with 100 accuracy. I'm picking the latter every time myself. So yeah.
Yeah, I think in most scenarios it's definitely better. 100, like being able to guarantee that you're gonna land your moves is just better in every scenario, especially like let's say your opponent switches in, right? They're gonna switch in on a Pokemon that can take whatever hit that you're planning to do, right?
Yep.
And you miss your Fire Blast, kill yourself. Like, just end it there. Give up now. Later on, but
Yeah.
like later on, you would rather have the flamethrower because at least the flamethrower then has a chance to burn. It does chip, and it's guaranteed to land. So, me personally, from Gen 3 onwards, at least, I don't know about Gen 2 yet, but like I will not be picking Fire Blast unless like strictly necessary.
Yeah, it's
Like with
literally
Focus
like if I need this mon to one shot a specific mon that it doesn't do with flamethrower and does it with fire blast, okay, I'll use it there. But I'm
Yeah.
definitely I prefer consistency over stuff
Yeah,
that's
same.
like more high rolly, which a lot of Gen 1 stuff is. I mean, even
Just
shit
get
like
lucky.
submission is 80% accurate, which is that's also a large part why fighting types are just so ass in Gen 1, where it's like you don't have a good fighting type moves and psychic is so good. So even though there are a
Yeah.
lot of good normal types, you just don't see fighting types because they're just turbo bad.
Kind of shit. Yeah, like the only ones that have, like you only have Machamp and Primate, I guess, as final form evolutions, right?
Yep.
And even then, they don't really get anything good.
I
They
think
get
I'm
like
pretty sure
low
submission
kick.
is the best fighting type move in Gen 1.
Yeah.
And
So no class combat.
it is
No.
bad double edge with also terrible accuracy. Like we're
Just run double edge at that point.
less damage and less accurate.
That's so filthy.
It is unfortunate. I was also so sad that I switched my because I initially the idea for my first team was that I have just a suicide lead Rapidash, and then I end up switching. Ghastly checks more things, and then the one of the two mons that outspeed it pops up. Man,
I just realized that I forgot that I set up a thing differently for stream on Sunday, and chat hasn't been able to hear you this entire time.
that's all good. I haven't been saying much of value anyway, so that's perfectly fine.
And I
Oh,
guess
what
most of
was
the things that are being said are gonna be on like record anyway. So
yeah, that is also true. What were the what was the validity issue? You said you had a validity issue with one of the teams.
Rapidash had fire, spin, and agility, which apparently cannot have.
Oh yeah, that's a banned combo. The same thing
Yeah.
with like Dragonite. The initial idea I had was that because apparently
Walk
it's
'em.
something because since getting out of a trap takes the turn. So meaning if you're faster and you're trapping something, it's GG's.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Like that's what I was thinking. Like, oh, that's broken. Let me just do that.
Yeah, that's why it's banned. I think most generations. I don't know about the more modern ones, but I think most like early generations, have stuff like that where there's also like I'm pretty sure Generation 2 agility plus baton pass is banned, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought Baton Blast was just banned in solos because it's like broken.
It is really good. In some formats, I want to say Sun and Moon. It was actually banned. I have played a competitive format where Baton Pass was just straight up banned. But I'm pretty sure like early on, like there was. I'm not sure if it was Gen 2 because I mean I don't. All of my knowledge about the early generations is through osmosis on like YouTube and shit like that. So I'm not sure, but I'm almost 100% sure that I've heard of Baton Pass in some discussion as something that's like it's banned in conjunction with another move.
I see. The way that I know Baton is being banned is essentially like having an infinite amount of setuppers that have Baton Pass and then just go into a sweeper that can just omni sweep anything.
Yeah, I've definitely.
That's like the only one.
I have heard of like. I actually wonder what generation it is, but I have heard of just a team being literally 6 months with Baton Pass.
Yeah, like I think it's. I remember there being an EV team or something that played like 5 at least of evolutions that have Baton Pass and just different setup moves on each, and then you just end up on like I don't even know what, but something that can kill.
I mean, it would make sense because like I don't think it's super widely GBD move, but I do know that I want to say all evolutions get it. I know that Jolteon does for sure, and I mean Eevee learns it, so by extension, all of their evolutions get it. So yeah, all evolutions just get it.
Exactly.
But yeah, anything else about PU?
I noticed that your teams were named after mathematicians and some ponies, mayhaps.
Yeah, I don't know how I got it. Oh yeah, it was literally like I was looking up when I threw Graveler into one of the 2 teams. I was then looking up, wait, when does What does magnitude get introduced? I don't know why I thought of this because the movie's just bad. It's just bad earthquake. But I just thought of it. And like, I mean, I'm terrible with names. So if I find anything, then it's just like, all right, something related to math in this one. And then the other one, I'm also now realizing that.
The Rapidash was called Rapidash?
Yeah. I must have. Oh, I probably. Guessing I changed the. I changed the set in a way where I accidentally restarted or re-put the Pokemon in the team, but it didn't miss a lot because it was called Rappy and then Dash. So it was the same day, but there was a space in between. So it was like stuff like okay, I think Fluttershy is the only one of these that has like is actually a name, and then others I was just like, all right, how does this shit make sense? I don't even know what the fuck the rarity is for. I literally because shocker, I'm not a My Little Pony fan. Shocker, I know. So I literally just Googled My Little Pony character names, and then I just was like, all right, which of these fit? And then I obviously took parts. Like, Twilight makes sense for a Ghastly. If it's Twilight Sparkle, suddenly, not so much. So, yeah. Then the Machamp was a Jack, because, like, he's a jock, but Applejack, then it's a Jack. Yippee. Really clever, I know.
I mean, I think these names work really well. I picked up on it. So
that's awesome. Honestly, I think like if your opponent realizes the theme, then at that point, you're doing good. I'll be honest, I don't pay attention to the names. Like when we were playing, I only realized them on my second view when I go back on and watch your VOD perspective. And that's why I'm like, oh, a 17th team where they're named after different Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah. See, I said this at one point, but like, I have an infinite amount of names that I can use because I can just name one team Yu-Gi-Oh cards or Yu-Gi-Oh archetypes, and the other team I can be like, okay, but what do I name these?
Yeah,
like, it's so easy.
My names will get progressively more and more boring. There's a reason why me nicknaming my Pokemon lasted exactly one game, which was Pokemon Pearl, which was my first game, and I was like, oh, I can give them names. That's cool. And then I realized that I'm really bad with names, and 2, I would like to learn the names of the Pokemon.
Bro never nicknames his Pokemon.
Absolutely not.
Oh, I just realized I didn't have the in front of the Little Mermaid. Fuck.
It just
does that even?
Is it the movie, right?
No.
Is the movie even called the?
It's the book, The Little Mermaid. The second team was named after Hans Christian Andersen stories.
Okay.
The Ugly Duckling, the Little Mermaid, the Snow Queen, the Nightingale, the Princess and the Pea, and the Shadow.
I see. I've seen one of those.
They're not.
And I don't think I've read the others either.
Yeah.
I think there was a kids show when I was young that like had like actually no, it was definitely a different like children's book author. There was like someone where it was like a boy and a girl, and then there was like an older guy who was always like telling them basically a different story. I think they were in a like wagon, and then he would explain them, but I don't know if it was Andersen's stories or someone else's. It was a pretty cool concept for a cartoon.
The fairy tales. Adaptation of Hans Christian Andersen's classic fairy tales.
Okay.
I
don't
know.
Let me see. I can immediately. Can you send me a picture or something? Like I can.
I'll send IMDb.
That works. I can like.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, exactly this. Yes, I was gonna say I immediately like when I'm gonna see the graphics, I immediately know. So okay, yeah, it's definitely this one. Okay.
Then you do know these.
So then, like, I probably heard a lot of them and then just don't remember because all of my brain power at that age was taken up by whatever happened in the Pokemon episode of that week. So
for some of these, you definitely know them. You know the Little Mermaid because the story, the Disney movie, The Little Mermaid is
Yeah, I
based off the
mean,
Little Mermaid. Yeah. The Ugly Duckling. You know, I was thinking of that one. That's
I
like
have heard of
super
it.
famous.
I have
Yeah, it's the one
never
where
read it.
the
I mean,
s-
I know how it goes. Like it gets bullied, and then
it turns out to be a swan and a duck. Yeah, that thing.
Oh wait,
The
never
Snow
mind. I
Queen.
have this. Yeah, actually, my grandma did read that to me when I was a kid. No, I do.
Yeah.
Like now when you said that, I saw the visuals of the book in my mind. So yeah.
Yeah. That's an old one. That's a good one. The Snow Queen, which is about two children essentially meeting like an ice queen, and I think there's a very like the animated version of it has the kid getting one of the like kids getting mind controlled by the Snow Queen or something.
Yeah, that
It's
doesn't
a
ring a
bad
bell at
plot for a
all.
doujinshi, so you know. Then the Nightingale, I don't know what that is, and I don't know what the Shadow is, but the Princess and the Pea, you should know what that one is as well.
The
It's the
name
one where
is familiar, but
the one where the princess like there's a lady that comes to a castle to sleep at it and she's like disheveled and stuff and then
oh, is it
the
under
like
the pillow?
yeah
Okay,
under the like mattress like there's 10 mattresses and there's a pea under the very very last one and then she wakes up in the morning and complains that she has back pains because the mattresses weren't good and because the pea is in there and she's actually a princess and they tell that apart by having the pea in there and she's this
okay.
it's kind of
Yeah, that one I do remember as well.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
not exactly. I was like, it was just like the concept was like, oh, I definitely heard this tale before.
Yeah, there's a, most of these are also things that have gotten adapted in the like
Would make
years
sense.
since, obviously.
It's like there's probably at least two versions of the Little Red Riding Hood, if I had to guess. Like I'm pretty sure if
At
you look at
least,
all of fiction, I would assume that there's at least two. So probably like the big fairy tales and like children's stories, like there are like 7 billion adaptations. I mean, bro, some of them
yeah.
probably have anime adaptations from high-end studios. So.
Actually, most of them do. Like, I'm pretty
Doesn't surprise
sure
me.
almost all of the ones that I have in here have anime adaptations. So,
Gotcha.
just say.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me in the least. And at least one of them is definitely an isekai.
I mean, if you consider the fact that I think Thumbelina is essentially about like a little girl getting transported into the world of like plants and like fairies and stuff. Yeah, yeah, kinda.
You're saying
Yeah.
Mushoku Tensei invented isekai? Check this shit out.
I mean, Digimon came out before Mushoku Tensei. Just saying, guys.
That's
Like, holy fuck. Little bro be like, yo, guys, Mushoku Tensei created the isekai genre, guys. Nah. Check this shit out. Look at Digimon. Look at Night on the Galactic Railroad. Look like Galactic Express, I think it's called. Actual railroad, maybe. But like,
the
there's a
latter one
bunch.
sounds like something that I have heard of. The former didn't, so probably that.
Oh, the Galactic Express is another thing. Yeah, it's Galactic
Oh,
Railroad.
okay.
The Galactic Express
thought
is
of that
the one that has like a lady in Russian garb, like classical Russian garb with a tall hat.
Oh,
A
yeah.
blonde lady.
I see.
It's like an old ass anime. Yeah, Galaxy Express 999. Yeah. There we go.
Cool. There's your what, like probably 10 minutes of fairy tale trivia. That's pretty neat.
Did you? So we haven't ever. You haven't ever played Force of Will, right? You don't know what Force of Will is, the card game.
Other yeah, no, I know it's a card game because every time it gets mentioned, I'm like, oh, that's the Magic the Gathering card. And then it's like, actually, it's an actual game itself. Yeah, I have no idea how it plays. I do know it exists.
One of the best decks in the game at one point was a deck called Grimm's, and it was literally just like your leader is Grimm, like Grimm's brothers, right? Like the guys who compiled the stories, right? And you have that guy as your like commander essentially, and you just play fairy tale cards. It's
get-
really cool.
This sounds like a modern like Zoomer-ish test, and when you say Grim, the first thing that I think of are the like monster enemies from Ruby, and that probably means that I like
See,
failed the test.
That's
and I'm
that's
not
because
an old ass.
those are named after the guy.
Gee,
That's
Because
crazy,
this
isn't
guy,
it?
that's
The
insane,
story with
man.
Little Red Riding Hood as the protagonist.
Oh my
one of the Grimm's
God.
fairy tales is
Shut up, Monty.
the Ice Queen is in that too. Did you know? The Snow Queen.
Yes, because that's what
Yeah.
they call ice.
Yeah, crazy.
It is pretty
I
cool.
wonder. Actually, yeah, you know these. What the? This guy doesn't even know that he knows.
Yes.
Fucking cheap ass. Next time you go watch some real animation.
I'm good. I'm gonna continue my Kuroko no Basket rewatch, which by the way, I was worried when I was going into it. So like context, I haven't watched anime proper in like 2.5 years at this point. And then I was just a little while ago, I was just like, you know what? I used to do Kuroko no Basket rewatch once a year because it's fucking peak. I was like, you know what? I'm bringing that trend back. And I was a little worried because it is one of my favorite shows of all time. I was a little worried going into it. What if it doesn't hold up?
Lamau.
It holds
Bro
up.
thinks-
It's so fucking peak, man.
Bro thinks everything up to Interhype wouldn't hold up. Damn.
I think like
be
the
honest.
latter parts also like are arguably even better, and like even season 1, like so many banger moments already.
The last match of the manga is like, it's the worst one because it's like we're just taking like even more bullshit out of our ass than usual, and it doesn't even feel like
I love the bullshit, man.
it's the part where they just go like, yes, this is a guy who has the same power as Kuroko, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's neat, yeah, and now Kuroko's gotta make his whole team disappear.
It's so fucking sick, man. I mean, when they're explaining to you like this guy has eyes where he can see the entire court even when he's paying attention elsewhere, it's like it's so sick, man, bro. Sports
That's
with
so cool.
superpowers are fucking heat. I need to watch Prince of Tennis. Officially, I don't think the anime adaptation is that great. I think the manga is really good, right? But I don't
The
read.
manga is kind of boring.
I don't read.
You don't read, yeah, you don't have the ability to read. We know this. You play
Yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh!
I mean,
I'm sorry.
we're almost at 110 episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like,
Yeah,
it shouldn't come as a surprise that I don't read.
dude, I think you should definitely do like a gag episode at some point with just Ryu in there instead of me, based off of how often you guys fail to read cards in Digimon.
Okay, do not say you guys. Point one time when I haven't read a card. Literally.
Sorry, I don't have the ability to do that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So next time when you want to call Ryu out, call Ryu out. Don't point your finger at me.
I mean, you played Yu-Gi-Oh too, so I don't know what to say, but
And I think that's why it's super fucking impressive that I haven't misread or missed any card text in that game. And honestly, I think I deserve praise. I think I do.
I will agree. I will agree.
But yeah.
There's actually another thing about it. Like for sports with superpowers, I think to some degree the powers in Kuroko make sense up until a point, right? Like up until the matches after against Almine, it's like everything makes sense. Everything is like you can feasibly do this kind of thing. Like you can have hyper awareness. You can just be super aware of your surroundings. You can see a thing and do it really well based off of seeing it once. And you can just be a fucking monkey see, monkey do. You can jump really high, not the height of the rim, but really high. And then you can just be so fucking good that it's like a superpower. You can just be Michael Jordan. And then here comes fucking Hazami or Haozaki or whatever the fuck his name is. And he's like, I steal your moves, and then you
Haizaki.
forget how to do them.
Because he
Okay,
does
buddy.
it in a different rhythm,
Okay,
bro.
buddy.
It's the whole
Yeah,
thing. He does it in slightly off rhythm.
And now you forever forget how to do it.
Now, I
And
love
then
the
in comes
bullshit.
Akashi being like, bro, I'm gonna command you to kneel.
Okay, don't disrespect my fucking goat. That's my
And then there's
goat,
a guy
man.
who's like, I dribble with one finger faster than anyone else. And then if I dribble with two, it
Yeah,
breaks
he's
the
more on
sound barrier.
Rocco's side,
And
the
if I
one of the
dribble
dude
with
like, alright, 4 fingers. No, I fucking love that bullshit. I
And then
mean,
there's one guy who's just king of bluff.
bro, 2 of my 3 favorite anime of all time are just Haikyuu and Kuroko. That's just like, alright, we have bullshit. I think, to be fair, the bullshit is much more feasible in Haikyuu, but I still think both of them are fucking hype. And honestly, I deserve Diamond. There's the lack of sleep coming to play a part now. Play a part, even. I enjoyed Diamond no Ace's first season very thoroughly as well. Like I would probably enjoy Prince of Tennis. Unfortunately, I think Yowamushi pedal is where I draw the line. I don't think
That's
there's a way for you to make fucking cycling enjoyable.
okay, but what if I tell you that there's
They
a
look
scene?
hideous, man.
What if I tell you there's a scene
They
where
look
the
hideous.
protagonist is running on empty and his partner is running on empty, and the way that he decides they're gonna power up is by singing an idle pop song at the top, like top of their lungs, and it's the
New
best part.
Newsflash, jackass! You're using your
Bang!
lungs for singing now when you're running on
Newsflash,
fumes
buddy!
already.
Jumping the height of the rim,
Is fucking beast mode.
singing when you're giga tired is giga beast mode, because you realistically go like that's not possible. But this guy's doing.
Me. Wake me up when
This
we're
guy's
done talking
putting-
about cycling anime.
This fucking guy, I can't believe it.
No, bro.
I'm
Sports
nervous
anime
this
is
guy.
tight. Big fan.
Sports anime is pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Can we get a good Air Gear adaptation, please?
Probably never.
At least
Unfortunately,
it's time
that
to break
ship
the
has
chain.
sailed.
No pain, don't be afraid.
Dude, imagine if Air Gear got an adaptation in the year 2025 and it's fucking back on with Break the Chain again.
We're more likely to get a Smash announcement than we are to get
Okay.
Air Gear.
Actually, never mind. You have a different opening, but in the finale, the season finale, Break the Chain starts playing.
You've
That would
heard
be
of
nice.
it is
That would be banging.
it is already broken to play the opening song at the climactic moment, and it is then even crazier when you bring out the first season's opening.
Dude, that's what Gridman does. In Gridman, this is Gridman, the final fight has, like, very first fight has the opening playing, like the very first opening. And then in the final fight, they play the Tokusatsu theme from like 30 years ago in the final
sick.
fight.
I watched
It's fucking
like 4
hype.
episodes of Gridman, I think. I'm not a mega fan in the first place. Like, the only ones that I've enjoyed have been, Darling in the Franxx, I kinda enjoyed.
That's-
But like the Gundam Build Fighters are the only like mega stuff that I've actually enjoyed.
Yeah.
It's also why I haven't watched Code Geass, even though I hear the ending is like one of the best in anime.
Also, Code Geass isn't a mecha anime. It's a political thriller with robots. Gundam is also a political thriller.
I was just
with
gonna say,
robots.
Gundam isn't a mecha anime
Space Up.
either. It's not like it basically made the whole genre popular, but because it's about politics, it's not actually a mecha anime.
Yeah. You know, now that we're chatting about fucking anime, 'cause
Oh
we didn't
god.
do a podcast segment for Monday. JoJo Part 7 is coming out, baby. I have lived long enough for JoJo Part 7 to be anime.
Can't wait for Netflix to drop it in 1 or 2
No.
chunks
No.
and nobody to give a shit about it like Part 6.
I will be radicalized if Part 7 does not release weekly.
I saw one picture of Jolene's ass, and that is literally all I saw and heard of JoJo Part 6. And that was for my friend who's watched maybe 2 anime in his entire life. He never watches anime, and he just sent me it and said, LMAO, what the fuck is this? And he wasn't even watching the show, he just saw it somewhere else. I'm like, bro.
Just on Netflix, most likely. Yeah.
And it's like,
Isn't it? That's so, like, that absolutely ruined Part 6's, like, relevance. Like, Part 6 is already the black sheep of the franchise. People don't like Part 6 for reasons that I'm not gonna explain. But it's like, first you do that. First you, like, you animate the least popular part of your series. And then you offer, like, a company just offers you to fucking kill it. Just, like, take it out back and shoot it in the head. And be like, yep, we'll do that. Sure. Big money. And you know what the saddest part is? The actual, like, result of having that amount of, like, time per episode didn't amount to shit. It looks just as good as Part 5 does. There's no part in Part 6 that I go like, this looks amazing. Literally none. But when I read the manga, Part 6 looks fucking amazing. So, just saying, Netflix, disappear from this fucking planet.
Okay, don't do that because I'm watching Kuroko on Netflix and their player is pristine. And brother, you will catch me dead before I'm watching shit on Crunchyroll.
You know, me personally, I'm a
Oh.
advocate of not supporting streaming services whatsoever.
I see.
Yeah. If there's one thing that
Don't say the
for,
side names. Don't say the side names. You don't
No, I'm
get
not
you
saying
don't
them
got
to-
shot
no, no,
on
no, 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 no,
Twitter
no,
for
no.
that. Don't say them.
Just saying, guys. If there's one thing that I think your learning journey and like the Pokemon Journey Through Time, is that the name?
Yes.
Yeah,
Put a
Pokemon
TM
Journey Through
after
Time.
there.
Yeah.
Editor. I'm editing. I'm not gonna do that.
So I think what we advocate for is look, we're playing on Dueling Book and Pokemon Showdown. You can't say that we don't advocate for this shit.
I mean, all I'm saying is if some place does it the best, people are gonna go there.
Yeah.
For Kuroko, I think Netflix is the best place to watch it.
Piracy is a service issue. Thank you, Gaben. Thank you. Steam does it the best. Just outright. And I think Showdown does it better than any Pokemon game that I could ever play for this. I would rather shoot myself in both feet than ever play a Pokemon game competitively without cheating my Pokemon. Because the Pokemon company doesn't want you to play the game competitively and optimize everything. They want
There
you to
goes my
eat shit and
Pokemon
die.
Legends ZA review copy. Thanks, man.
Sorry. This opinion is mine and mine alone. That does not represent Weebfox's opinion. Game Freak, the Pokemon company, Creatures Inc. Weebfox is a massive fan of
Guys,
the
check out
Pokemon
this
franchise.
Ash Ketchum cap tattoo that I have tattooed on my arm. It's the first tattoo I ever got.
Oh yeah, I did remember that correctly. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, me personally,
That's
fuck
fair.
them streaming sites.
Okay. I don't want to make this too long because we are over an hour and I don't want the Pokemon games to go to the 2 hours that Yu-Gi-Oh has turned to because I think like the games are swifter and I do intend this to be a swifter experience, but it's still fine to have this. Also, my bus leaves in 2 hours and I still have quite a bit of stuff to do. So that's the bigger part. But final thing that I'm realizing now I did not do my team breakdown beforehand, so it's gonna.
Oh, I didn't either.
Oh well, cat shake on that. You're gonna then, I guess, get the K-drama version of us being like, "Gee, I wonder what's gonna happen." No, I'll probably just be transparent about it. But yeah, like in the future, like go back to the team previews beforehand because I think it's cool. So go do that. But for this week, please bear with us. We're recording this way earlier than we usually do, and even both in time and in like the day. Bear with us for this one's, and it's back to the usual stuff beforehand. That's why I lost. I didn't say out loud what my team intends to do, so I didn't do it right. It all makes sense now. All right.
That Jimmy Neutron like reaction image where he's just like screaming into the heavens. That's what I imagine he's doing right now.
My mind is broken when someone says like something's about screaming out. All I can think of is fucking Cosmos screaming at Timmy Turner. They're like funny Capcom dog. Her name is Okami. Bro, it's one of my favorite fucking meme templates of all time. It's so it's so fucking good.
Oh man,
funny Capcom
like,
dog. Her name is Okami.
See, I'm Cosmo in that, except I'm yelling the right thing, and I hate it.
It's so good. But yeah.
His name isn't Frankenstein.
Okay, that's a kind of worms we will not be opening. But what we can open here is the box below to click the like and subscribe buttons. Those look pretty cool. Honestly, I saw like recently that sometimes when I hear someone say like, subscribe, those fucking buttons light up down here. Yeah. That's fucking sick. So we're consider this a test. I mean, you can click them too if you'd like. I'd appreciate it. But
this is what they call a call to action, guys. It is a way of engaging the viewers to remind them that it is possible to like and subscribe to the channel.
And also, please do not forget to follow Weebfox at twitch.tv/Weebfox and also Jeexx at twitch.tv/Jeexx, where you can find epic gameplay every Saturday, not Saturday, Sunday. Fuck, I fucked it up.
No.
Fuck!
We'll fix it in post.
My
We'll fix it in
Aggie!
post. We'll fix it in post. No worries. We will fix it in post. But yeah, but no, for reals, your viewership is already very much appreciated. Like, I'll be honest, like, these are very much a selfish thing that we just wanted to do, and we're just doing. Figured that, you know what, might as well save it on the internet if somebody enjoys it, but that we can also enjoy in the future. So if anybody finds any amusement out of these, then that's all the more there. And this week's shout out goes to PVZ Brownie God Gaming. Your comments made my day. Thank you for your very kind words, and hopefully we don't disappoint you. He said he said that he found a gold mine for a channel after discovering many different prog series. So thank you for your kind words, and shout out Simo for being the, at least I think the creator and founder of the idea itself. It's obviously all just a stolen idea that we just put our own twist to. So yeah, but if someone finds enjoyment here in addition to us, then hey, that's all the better.
Hell yeah.
That is going to do it for us for today, though. Thank you so very much for watching as always, and we will see you next week for Generation 1 ZU. We're hitting probably the lowest low when it comes to power level, apart from Little Cup, that we will have in the entirety of this Pokemon progression series, because we have such a small amount of Pokemon with a small amount of options in the lowest possible tier for power. So I can't wait to be playing Caterpie versus Weedle next week. It's gonna be awesome.
Dude, I'm so hyped.
Oh,
I'm so hyped to be playing the lowest possible power.
it is
I think.
intriguing.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because it's the same as playing Yugi versus Kaiba structure decks, right? You just rock up with the worst thing they've ever made, and you're like, okay, but I can summon Dark Magician before you can summon Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Yeah, I've always been the UURU area. It has usually been what I thrive in and what I enjoy the most. Not the most popular, the most powerful format, but the slightly step down before that, and then the bottom feeders are I don't know what the fuck to do here, but in a way that's also very exciting, which is cool. So, and then I think that I've said it in the past as well, but we will be closing the the singles stuff for now with Ubers, because I think it's cool to start in the most popular format, go down from there, and then end it on a high of the absolute bonker power level that is.
I was originally thinking when we started that it would have been more interesting to go from bottom up, but the idea of going top to bottom and then returning to the top after you've got experience in playing with everything, I think that's good.
Yeah.
I think the main issue with it is still you don't really gain experience with using the lower tiers and higher tiers to see if they can actually work and maybe making those work, but it's still I think this is a good format.
Yeah. But yeah, that's gonna do it for us though. Thank you once again so very much for watching, and sorry for the extremely lengthened outro. And also let us know if you enjoy these podcast segments, I guess, because we sometimes do them in Yu-Gi-Oh, but we haven't done them for these, at least for now. But yeah, if you enjoy these, make sure to let us know so I can eat more of Jeexx' stream time every Sunday.
Oh no, I didn't even think about that.
It's all gonna be mine. I'm slow to take it over at the Jeexx stream. I can't wait for us to come up with 17 different series again, and it's just this is how I kill Final Fantasy 14. Stay tuned to see how my conquering plan goes. We'll catch you guys next week. Enjoy some. I'm losing brain cells at this point. Okay, the sleep is catching up to me. Sleep is catching up to me. Enjoy what you want to enjoy. And hopefully enjoyed the video as well. We'll get out of here now. I'm so sorry. This is a mess. And
Take care, everybody.
take care. Bye. I didn't even say peace. No!